Black Americans that are tracing back the countries that their ancestors were taken from. And they have documented the identity issues that they have faced over the years. You people need to remember, Black Americans can trace their great grandparents, but they are still trying to trace the exact country that they were taken from. And some people have traced it to like Nigeria, like Liberia, da 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 da. Like if people are trying to do that, a whole community of people, then why would I not be trying to look for my like?
Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel, Rant and Beyond. My name is Ify and this is my beautiful, beautiful friend Adise.
Hello, people.
If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. And if this is your first time watching us, thank you. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, engage, do all the things so that we can keep coming and making these videos. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about this trending topic on TikTok. So a creator, I'm going to put her details.
Imagine getting pregnant, and then instead of getting an abortion, you keep the baby, and then once the baby is born, you give it up for adoption. And then that same baby comes back looking for you once they get older. There has to be some type of non-disclosure agreement that they agreed to, but it seems like everybody who gets adopted always has, like, even when it's like a closed adoption, they're still able to find their parents. Baby, I gave you life, and I gave it to somebody that actually wanted you. That's the best I could do for you. Like, why are you looking for me? I did not get you taken from me. I willingly gave you away. Please do not come and find me. Like, I moved on with my life after I had you. I gave you life, and I gave you to some people that probably couldn't have kids, or somebody who desperately wanted another baby. Like, please do not come looking for me. Please. I gave you to your family. Do not come looking for me.
Her point was, if a woman gives up a child in a closed adoption, do you think the child should go looking for this mother, this biological mother? And she goes on to, her point is basically she doesn't want anybody looking. If she were the one, she wouldn't want anybody looking for her. If she wanted to have access to you, she would make sure the adoption was open. But if she's closed this, then she doesn't really want to have access to you. And that has, led to a big discourse right now on TikTok. A lot of people are making videos on it. Some people are coming on to say, they have no business with this situation. They weren't adopted or anything, but they share the same opinion. And then there are other people who have come to say, you know what, I don't share this opinion. Then a lot of people are now piling on this adopted children. So adopted children are now coming out to defend themselves. Some will come out and be like, oh, I searched for my mother, these were my reasons. There's been a lot of opinions. In one video, I remember seeing you could hear the voice of the person. She didn't show her face. It sounded like she was an older white lady. And she says she gave up the child probably at like 17, but it was very young because she couldn't take care of the child and it was a closed adoption. Eventually, the child comes searching for her, I think through Facebook. And her point was, it was when abortion was not a thing. So it seemed like it was very early on, maybe in the 80s or something. So her point was, a couple of years later, the person reaches out to her through Facebook. And, she answers their questions. She's kind of, she's cordial. But then they get angry. They start to say, why did she give them up? They did not like the home they grew up in. It wasn't nice. And then she gives them answers like, oh, well, this was my own situation. I couldn't take care of you. And they are not happy. They get very angry, blast her, blocks her. And that's the situation. Yeah. And then there's another top one that is very trending right now. Honestly, I feel like that one even deserves a video of its own because it's like a 12-part series.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a very huge, I watched the whole thing because there's a point where the story gets really sad. But he's
Oh.
okay now. But he gets like he finds out that his biological family is kind of crazy, and that's Elijah Cole. He is the last youngest brother of Kisha Cole. In his own
Oh.
situation, he didn't even know he was adopted till 13. Kisha Cole had a TV
Oh.
show where they mentioned his name. I don't even know why they mentioned his name and how they have his details. But it was a close adoption, and it looked like it was the this system now that had the mother give him up. It
Oh.
wasn't, and it looks like there was a lot of drugs going on. So like it looks like
Oh.
it was a condition for her. She had to give up the child. And even Kishako herself was adopted, but it seems like hers was open, so she still had
Oh.
access to the biological family, but she had a an adopted family. But in his own case, his was closed, and it looked like it was a condition from the state.
Hold up.
Yeah.
So, Kisha Cole, Ki- Ki- just to juggle my memory, Kisha Cole is sent from heaven.
Yes, yes, that's
That's okay.
Kishako.
Okay, so that's Kisha Cole.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we know her.
Yes.
She's a pretty woman. So Elijah Cole is. I know. I think I know who that person is. I know who that person is. I know his. There's one popular song of his that I really like. They both went to different families, but they are actually biological siblings. Same mother, same father.
Yes, I'm not sure. Oh, sorry,
Wow,
I'm not sure if it's
music
same
really is
father.
in their
I'm
blood.
not sure if it's same father, but it's same mother. And
Mm,
their mother Frankie had a lot of kids, and the family is
mm.
kind of crazy. I'm not even sure it was just two of them that were adopted. And the thing is, Kishako is significantly older than this Elijah.
Oh wow,
So he was like 13. She was already a popular star. Like he knew her as a big artist when he was in high school at 13. So
oh
she's
wow.
significantly older than him. And his is very sad because he didn't know. So when his name was mentioned on that reality TV show of Kisha Coles, his school then somebody hears it because a lot of people watch the show. A lot of black people were watching the show at the time. So he goes to school and everybody starts to tell him, "Oh, Kisha Cole is your sister." So the principal had to his mom had to be called to school, and then the problem with the whole situation was the mother was very defensive. His adopted mother, she loved him, she treated him well. You know, he said his childhood was very good. The mom had some money. She used to foster kids, and she lived in a four bed. Like his background growing up until that point, it was fine. So and
Wow.
she was like a disciplinarian black mom, and then
Yeah.
she takes him home. She doesn't say anything for a couple of hours. Then she comes to his room and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier. You are adopted. You have another
Mm,
family, but they shouldn't be contacting you if they don't contact me first. Blah blah blah."
yeah.
But she doesn't give up an opening for him to like, she's kind of very strict with it. And at the end, he finds out eventually why, because the family is crazy. Because he
Wow.
goes, defies her and starts putting effort to
To
go after
search.
them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the main thing, one of his explanations for why is that he's gay. And because he was gay, he felt like he wasn't really accepted. His mom was like this
Hmm.
strict person. And then he's also loud. His adopted family, he says they're very prim and proper. He
Yeah.
was loud. So he always felt like he didn't fit in. Then he
Hmm.
was gay, he was struggling with that. Then now knowing he's adopted, he felt like, oh, if I find these people, I'll be able to find where I fit in. But
Yeah.
it was a very dysfunctional family. He describes
Yeah.
how he met them, or how he ran away from home a couple of times. He went to his grandma's place. He stayed with an auntie. There was a time he spent 1 month with an auntie when he was trying to meet with them. And when they said,
Hmm.
"Oh yeah, Elijah has come," the whole family was like, "Yeah, they will come and see him." He spent 1 month there. Nobody came,
Hmm.
and he eventually went back home. He tried to mend things with his mom. He still went after them again. His mom would get pissed. At a time he had his graduation, he graduated early because he turns out he was actually pretty smart. That's from high school. At a time he invited them for his high school graduation, and one of the things he said, which was horrible, was he messaged Kisha, and Kisha was like, "Why would I come for your graduation? Did you come for mine?" Which is like insane, because this was a 16-year-old. How would he have come for your graduation? What are you talking about?
Keisha Cole, that response was not sent from heaven, ma'am.
You at
That
all.
response was not sent from heaven. What is wrong with you, ma'am? God
Yeah.
damn.
Elijah, it was, and then there was even a time he ran when he was still having issues with his mom. Mostly, and most of his issues always tied back to this whole wanting to be with these people because his
Oh
mom would
wow.
get sent pictures from social media, and she's not happy
Yeah.
that why like these people are not good for you. They should you are a minor. They should contact me, and that's another problem. This the biological family they had it's almost like it's when you are dealing with people that are not like I don't know, but it looked like they didn't even try to even make effort to be like, oh, let's be contacting the mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, so he ran to stay with his auntie. I think this was before the graduation. And do you know that the auntie said there's no space in the house? So she used to manage some halfway homes where recovering addicts are. And she took him to one of them. And then when she gave him a room there, he was happy. Then she said, oh, his uncle will come and stay, and Uncle Lanzo. Do you know this man came and sexually abused that guy in the night? Like he woke up in the night and he found this man touching him, his privates. He had to fight, kick the man, run into the bathroom and call the auntie. That was the most traumatic thing he said in the story. He this I don't know if there were any other things that happened, but that was like the most traumatic. Like for a shelter because he was a very sheltered child. That his adopted mom like really took care of him until that whole brouhaha from 13 when he discovered he was extremely sheltered. He was and did say that the mom actually loved him, like, and he was a generally good child. So that experience traumatized him because he had not experienced something like that. He calls the auntie. The auntie comes and takes him back to our house. He sleeps on the floor. In the morning, this the auntie goes and brings this Uncle Anzo back to the house, and this is someone that just said this person just sexually abused me by 12 midnight. In the morning, the man is walking in. The and she had confronted him, so the man comes in pissed that he why would he say that about him and starts beating him up. This is
Mm.
six. This is he was probably like 15 at this time. All this
If
because he
he,
was fighting
we
for
need to
acceptance.
dedicate a video, and I have been thinking about doing a video and putting it up on my TikTok. We need to dedicate a video to talk about the women that enable abusers. That
Yeah,
deserves at least, honestly, 2, 3 videos because I feel like that is such a big part of the whole, the whole dynamic of abusers, abusing the enablers, the people around them, the women around these abusers that enable them. Because I feel like a
yeah,
lot of them would not have the audacity to either continue or even the audacity to do what they do if they are not enabled. We,
yeah.
we need to do we need to do a video on that. But go on, please.
Yeah, I completely agree. Anyways, his story, like, it doesn't seem like he ever actually fully mended things with his mom. His mom has passed away now. That's his adopted
Oh,
mom. But he stops. I think he plans to do follow up, like after he finally graduated high school and what happened after that. But he did go home after that incident and all that. But so he that was what brought up him telling his own story. And then other people have come out, so different experiences. The ones that have come out to say, you know what, the adopted parents, at the time they made a closed adoption because it was the best thing, but they changed their minds eventually. So when they did reach out to them, their relationship was fine. The ones that have come
yeah,
out and say, I had a horrible experience when I met up with these people. There are some people that have come out and say, what, my adopted family treated me fantastically well. Had no reason going to search for someone who gave me up, and I don't care to. It has been
yeah,
received with different responses. And it's such a touching subject. We both don't have direct experiences with this exact situation. I look too
yeah.
much like my father to have ever been adopted, and we both know that you are your mother's replica. So,
I am my
but I
mother's
feel like
replica.
as
Thank God for her, because look at this face. Mm.
and I feel like, but I think when you are removed from the situation and you think, well, you are able to have like a balanced perspective. So I'll just
Yeah,
let you, give your opinion before I give mine.
my opinion. Okay, so I feel like adoption is one of those things that you cannot know except you are somehow in it in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
I like, people are always people. There are some things that are sacred that people always say, oh well, if you have not been through it, don't talk about it. Motherhood is one of them. People always like, well, if you have not been a parent, don't criticize parents. I don't think so. Like, I think you can, like, I don't need to be a parent to say that you're a shitty parent. But I feel like this is truly one of those things that I genuinely believe if you have not been there, you should be very cautious in how you speak on it, because A, it is extremely sensitive. B, the root of this, the at the very root of this, for the people that are adopted that do not know their biological families, at the very root of it is deep identity issues.
Yeah.
Because then, like, you cannot, you know you cannot help but wonder, like, oh wait, what happened? Was I even stolen? Like, because there are cases like that. What, like, was I
Yeah.
stolen? Like, are my parents looking for me? Was my mother like 14 years old, and her parents yanked me away from her arms? You don't know. And even when you are told that, okay, well, this is the profile of your biological parents, maybe they were on substances, they are still on the streets, whatever it is, I can empathize with a person wanting to meet them and wanting to talk to them. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's crazy to me. I don't know why, even if it's a closed adoption, because you closed it for yourself. You did not close it for me. Yeah, I get that. You sort of made a decision for the both of us, but I don't think anybody has the right to dictate how I react to something that happened to me, whether it's closed or not. Like, fuck that. Like, you closed it. Like, did I tell you to close it when I was, what, a day old? Like, what, like, that is such a stupid point in my opinion. It's like, oh, but yeah, you made this decision on behalf of the both of us. Like, oh yeah, I don't want to see you, but yeah, fuck that. I want to see. I do want to see you. I think it's extremely unfair. And I mean, I don't criticize anybody that decides to give their child away. I think it is a responsible thing to do. Even if you think you are not in a good place to raise a child, I think giving a child up for adoption is a very responsible thing to do. But getting angry, or having some sort of I don't want to call it irrational, but having some sort of strong emotion to how that child reacts when they grow up, I think is crazy. First of all, you don't know the life that the child has had, whether it was good or bad. It does not matter, because now everything that happens to me, and again, we need to remember, when you are young, there is a lot of there are a lot of things that are missing, and one of those things is perspective. When I was a child, when I was even not child, when I was a teenager, there is no way you could have sat me down to explain how difficult it is to be a parent to a teenager, that I would have fully understood it. Like, you just cannot understand it. It is now that I am an adult with responsibilities, and with a lot of responsibilities, and I'm like, oh shoot, a person actually choosing to adopt. If I go out to adopt a kid, that is like the love of doing that. Because I mean, if you don't get adopted, there are so many horrible things that can happen to you. Bounce for the foster care system to foster, and this is even if you are in a country that has a foster care system. What am I talking about? We're Nigerians. I don't even think there's a foster care system in Nigeria. There are so many horrible things that can happen to you. So as an adult, if I were adopted, I have the perspective now to say, oh, you know what? I'm very grateful to these people that adopted me. If I did have a good experience. But when you are 16, you don't have that. There's a lot of perspective that you don't have. And even if you have perspective, fuck that. Even as a 50-year-old, you still want to know where you're from. Like, what are you talking about? You still want to know where you're from. Like, we have Black Americans that are tracing back the countries that their ancestors were taken from. And they have documented the identity issues that they have faced over the years. You people need to remember, Black Americans can trace their great grandparents, but they are still trying to trace the exact country that they were taken from. And some people have traced it to, like, Nigeria, like, Liberia, da 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 da. Like, if people are trying to do that, a whole community of people, then why would I not be trying to look for my, like, the woman that pushed me out of her cushy. Like, why would I not? Like, why would I not be trying to look for? Like, why would I?
Another thing relevant to the conversation, just for your opinion, is that there's a lot of comments that these people, these adopted children, please, I hope that didn't sound terrible saying these people,
No,
but
I think
the adopted children
I'm not grateful.
do not have any interest in looking for their fathers. It's always, the burden is always on the mothers all the time. Like, even when they find mothers, very few even are inquisitive enough to want to look for their
Okay,
fathers.
okay, okay. That's that's the issue I have with everybody these days. Not, I guess I'm just gonna say everybody. Let's not be fucking ridiculous. Whether you like it or not, no matter how westernized you are, no matter how not westernized you are, there is something that globally we seem to agree on, that most of the time women are more mothers, are more attached to their children than the fathers are. And this is for several reasons. Because a woman might genuinely not know who impregnated her. A woman might genuinely not know who impregnated her. But because if you can trace your mother, then you can trace your father. Like, okay, so that let me try to be concise, which is very difficult for me to do. First things first. If I am not adopted, I don't know how that experience feels like. And if I say anything that sounds flippant, it is genuinely not my intention. So forgive me. But if I were adopted, the first person I would be looking for is my mother. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because in my head I'm thinking, oh, this woman went through this process to, be pregnant with me and have me. Like, I hate to say it, but I can understand my father abandoning me. Why? Because statistically, men are more likely to abandon their fucking kids. It's as simple as ABC. It, the figures are there. Like, I hate that we keep arguing reality. For whatever it is, scientists haven't done enough. They haven't done enough studies to tell us why. Like, what exactly is in them that makes them abandon their kids way more than women. But for whatever it is, men are more likely to abandon their children. Full stop. So if I am adopted, the first person I'll be thinking of is the person that was less likely to abandon me. So my mother. Like, also, if I don't even want to start looking for my father, because you have to go through like hospital records. For all I know, the man was not even present. So how would I start? Like, why would I don't know? And I guess another thing they are saying is the emotion, the anger. I understand that it's not fair, but at the same time, this is why I keep telling women. No matter how you try to say two people had the kid, two people had the kid, the body of a child, whether that is fair, that is not fair, we can argue it, but let's be realistic. The body of having a child, caring for a child, loving a child, doing all these things is more on us than it is the man, which is why you should be ruthless about deciding if you're going to have a kid or not, and the man should almost have nothing to do with it. But let's move on from that. That's not the topic we're on. I don't. That is a stupid opinion to me, because just tracing it, I'm going to look for my mother. Anger, I'm also going to be more angry at my mother, because you had me. You had me. You had me. You went through all these emotions of carrying me. You knew me before I knew myself. So you giving, and also the decision to give away the child, like, it's more on the woman. Like, I feel like that's the woman's decision for a majority. This is not including people that were in a situation where they were forced to give up the child and all that. All these people are mad. I need to go on TikTok and tell them that they are
Um,
mad.
Another thing I would like to ask you is, because of this continuous, the burden is on the man, on the woman
Yeah,
conversations that everyone is having.
yeah.
I don't still understand why more women are not fighting for a matrilineal structure across the world, because I feel like women say this, but they're
Hmm.
okay with not giving the children should be answering the mother's name, not the mother's surname, the mother's name,
That,
because
as in, that
that
should,
should
like,
be
that
the
is so
fight.
fair.
Everywhere should be matrilineal, because you can't keep people can't keep saying this thing, but they mention legacy, they mention a man
They
that
mentioned the
clearly
man.
gave
Yeah.
birth to You mentioned legacy. You have cultures where women are diminished as second class humans, but you can only you
If we
got
come from
you
those
got
cultures, like why are you saying those cultures?
yeah, no,
Like
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say across the world,
we
but
come from those
you honestly,
cultures.
you are only sure of the mother. You are never sure who the father is. 100%. If not for DNA
Yeah.
helping men today, like you are only sure of who bettered the child, not who the father is.
Who
So
fathered the
I
child?
feel like if women keep like, I don't have issues with what you've said. I'm just saying that if we're going to keep insisting on this, oh, this is how life is, this is how life is,
Yeah,
then we
yeah,
should be
yeah,
fighting to set up my, like, you cannot have a man choosing the name of a child if at the end of
yeah.
the day you are saying the burden is on me.
My issue with that is again, this does not include people that are in peculiar circumstances. Like if you are in a if you are imprisoned, this because I want to say something that is, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit rash. But this does not include people that their choices have been taken away from them, whether taken away from them psychologically or forcefully taken away from them physically. When I say psychologically, I mean like you're in a cult and you're brainwashed and you don't really have free will because you're free, like everything is now all muddled and weird. Now, whether we like it or not, the decision to bring a child to the world is a woman's decision. You are the one deciding that
um
shit. You are,
Sorry
if
to
you are
cut you
not in
off.
an imprisonment situation.
Sorry to cut you off. Sorry to cut you off. What they said. There is something that I need to highlight. This was a
Highlight it,
hypothetical
please.
situation, and the hypothetical situation was trying to. I think the real intention of that TikToker was really to say abortion rights. The whole point of this whole discourse is, if you are taking abortion rights away from women, you are going to keep having people that don't want to have kids having their, I don't want to have kids, and somebody is popping up in their door. And at the end of the day, those new adults, because most of the time these people kids are doing this at like maybe 18. Those
Yeah.
newly formed adults looking for identity are just going to have their feelings hurt because I am going to be really harsh with you because I really did not want to have this child. So this
Mm.
conversation, by the time you watch some of those videos, it really, a lot of it is just women trying to say, you know what, let people abort these children, because it's about, this whole thing you are doing is control. The number one, you don't want women to abort the children. You want them to have the children. You want them to be open to being mothers. When these children come to find them, they will still keep an open relationship even if they don't want to. There are many traumatic situations that lead to these women having kids. But if they don't have the kids, this conversation will not come up in the first place. So it was a very hypothetical situation. I want to highlight that because I know that the discussion has digressed into people piling on adopted children and them searching for their mothers, and that's horrible. But
People
I'm trying to
piling
say
on
the
adopted
hypothetical
children.
situation is trying to say,
That is the most stupid thing ever. Allow those people to have their
yeah, because
feelings.
they are looking, all of these people doing that, they are doing is, you know what, they are all that they are doing is they're looking at the situation from which, I really love what you said, because that was my opinion. Like, a child is a child, they don't have all this information. But all these people piling up on adopted children are saying it from point of view of a woman who was forced to have a child she did not want to have.
Also, I mean, I hate to be like I hate to sound like a purist, but if you're watching this video and you are in a state, I get, like, we live in Canada. I think abortion is legal everywhere in Canada. If you're in the US, you're in one of those crazy states that say, "Oh, no to abortion." Oh, okay, great. Before you lay down and have sex, except again, your choice was taken away from you psychologically or physically. But if that is not the case, you see a man, this man looks fine. You've decided, okay, you know what, I'm with every sexual encounter you have, when you have a viable uterus, there is a possibility of you getting pregnant. So if you do not want to have a kid, you should start preventing pregnancy before you start having the sex that leads to the pregnancy. If you're in a state that getting an abortion is difficult, I'm not saying, of course, we should fight that people should have the choice to, again, before we win that fight, before there is a Senate government system that that makes this process better for you people. Before you lie down and have a kid and have sex with a person, it is like 1 minute or 2 minutes, or let's even say last 30 minutes or an hour. It is not worth what happens for 9 months and after. It is not worth it at all. At like you should not be that like if you're in a state that abortion is not legal, honestly, you should not be that horny. I swear to God, you should not be.
Honestly, I want to highlight something that you are forgetting
Oh
in that
God,
fact.
what
I don't
else?
think that's a realistic ask. Why I'm
Why?
saying that's not realistic ask. Well, let me tell you why it's not realistic ask. You just mentioned how children go through various emotions because they are having identity crisis. Majority of the people that are giving up their kids for adoption that are not drug addicts or having like imprisoned or whatever are usually teenagers. So this advice
Okay,
it's not a realistic advice. That's the truth.
why?
Many of the women
Teenagers
that no,
cannot
I'm telling
they
you,
cannot abstain from sex or have
no,
safe
they
sex. I'm
can't. But
confused.
it's the same way you. I'm telling you the reason why I'm telling you it's not. It's as unrealistic as saying no. Those teenagers shouldn't go and start looking for their mothers situation.
It
But
is
it
not
is
even
not.
ideal. The ideal, I don't
It
even know
is
why you're a
ideal in
teenager
the
and
sense
you are
that you
letting a boy
cannot. You
touch
can.
you. Have you read your
You
books?
literally
You haven't read
cannot.
your books.
You
This is
can't
westernized
eliminate teenage
nonsense. You are 16. What
pregnancy.
are you
No,
having
you
sex for
can't.
at 16? What are you having sex for at
But that's the
16?
point. You are
Nonsense.
this thing you are
I'm
saying.
even being
This thing
liberal.
you are
I'm
saying.
very being very
You
liberal saying
are.
you should have safe sex. What are you
It's
having
not
sex for at
about
16?
liberality. It's
What
not.
is the
It's
you
you
can't
are
tell me the
dwelling.
periodic
You
table,
are.
but you want to open your legs. What is the periodic table?
You are
Hmm?
heavily dwelling on purity culture. It is not what will
Okay,
happen. It's not
see,
what. I'm
first
no. What
things
I'm
first,
telling you is,
sex is very
it's not going to
complicated.
happen.
Purity or no
It's
purity,
not.
I don't
It's
think
not.
16-year-olds
And
should be
that's the
having
honest
sex. Like,
truth.
like I
If you
don't think
can
so
say
because
this,
sex is
then
very complicated.
no.
Most of the time, the person that you
I
are
don't
sleeping with
agree.
does not like you. That person hates you. So, like, sex is complicated for adults. Not to talk of teenagers. Are you kidding me?
And
They
you're
have what the
forgetting
world
my
has
point in
HIV.
this. No, see, my point is simple. It is not that your advice is bad
I
advice.
feel like a
I'm saying
Nigerian
that
mother.
in reality, it's not likely what will happen
I
because
was a 16 year old.
many
Ify,
teenagers
you
are
were a
going to
16 year
go out
old.
and get pregnant.
We have all been 16-year-olds. If you are
And like
so you are telling me that a 16 like
friends.
16-year-olds
No,
are
and I saw
incapable
many 16-year-olds
of
get
abstaining
pregnant.
from
That's
sex.
it.
That's what you're telling me. That
And I saw
16-year-olds are
many
incapable
16
of
year olds
abstaining
getting
from sex.
pregnant. And I saw many 16-year-olds getting pregnant. Because I was not one of them doesn't mean that I didn't see
Honestly, it's
many of them getting pregnant.
because our parents were not strict enough.
And the
Get
truth is, at
pregnant.
the end of
Wow,
the day,
at 16. Yeah,
and the
okay.
truth, see, I'm not saying they should get pregnant. That's not my point. I'm saying that if you just say, don't get pregnant, the same way you are
I didn't
telling,
even say don't get
teenagers
pregnant.
don't.
Oh well, don't get pregnant. But I'm not even saying I didn't even say they should abstain from
That's
sex.
it.
I mean, you should abstain. But
You are saying don't get pregnant
how
if you
that's
believe
so
in
hard. That's so hard.
it.
You're so horny. Like oh, the math and the science is making you. Organic table is making you ooh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hormones splash everywhere. Hormones splash everywhere. No problem. No problem. However, you live in, I don't know, Texas is, I'm sure it's probably one of them. You live in Texas. If you get pregnant, and even when like, the law is so crazy that even when like your life is in danger or something crazy like that, like they will
Yeah,
actually
they'll
let you
keep
die
your
to save
body
the baby.
alive.
Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
You live in a place that does not
yeah.
care about you as a woman. Like, you,
What I'm trying to say is that what you are saying can be reversed. You can do, reverse. Like as a child, somebody has closed an opportunity for you to meet them. You're just going to get your feelings hurt. That's the point. It's like what I'm trying to tell you why that is. It's like you are understanding of the child that is an adopted child looking for their mother. But I'm telling you that okay, if you're going to be understanding of that child, you're going to understand of teenagers that are going to get pregnant and give those children away and close the adoption because you don't want to hear about that situation anymore. Because this situation is very simple. That hypothetical situation is very simple. If you are a child, you are going to search for a woman that has given you up and close the door, and you have to go and look for a PI to find this woman. You are going to get your feelings
I
hurt,
feel
and
like when I'm famous and about to be president, people will bring out this video and say, "Oh my gosh, she was against 16-year-olds having sex." This is for when you do not have when your choice is not taken from away from you physically or psychologically, because I understand that you don't always have to be in a set in a it doesn't always have to be physical for your choice to be taken away from you. It could be psychological. I understand that. What I am saying is that is not the same thing. As I do not want to speak for adopted kids. Again, if you're an adopted kid watching this, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. I am as an if I am an adopted kid, I did not have any say to what happened to me. Not a single say, not one, not one, not a say. So my level of closure is so wide. The woman
Yeah.
that held me, gave me up to the government or gave me up to whoever, my adopted, gave me up to whoever, she has a level of closure because she made that decision. She sat with it. She thought of it for 9 months or thought of it for however long she thought of it, and said, you know what, I don't, maybe I am on the streets. I don't have the resources to take care of this child. She, oh, I mean, some, not every time, but most of the time, she made her peace with it. She
Yeah.
had the opportunity to make her peace with it. What are you talking about? She had the opportunity to make her peace with it. I did not have that chance. Not at all. And now I'm 25, and for the first time, you're telling me that mommy is not mommy and daddy is not daddy, and there's a random mommy and daddy somewhere. And now I'm thinking, is Beyonce my actual mommy?
Uh,
Is Jay-Z my actual daddy? And now I'm thinking, oh my god, who is my mommy? Who is my daddy? Who's my mommy? Who is my daddy? I did not have that choice. But the whoever gave me up, they made their, they made their peace with it. So most, I know it's not all the time, but on some level they know, they're like, okay, and sometimes they know who the parent is that they gave the kid to. I don't know who this person is. I don't have an idea. You cannot tell me how to feel about that. I feel like if we did not have, black Americans looking for the country they hailed from, even when they know 6 generations of their parents, and 6 generations, 7, 8 generations of their parents, if we did not have that, then we can be like, then we can feign not on that, because I feel like this is us faking this. Oh, why are they looking for their why are they looking for their birth parents? I feel like this is us faking it, because we cannot have that situation and accept it. Because if we are going to judge, oh, why are you going to look for your biological parents? We should also ask Black Americans for the number of years they have been, trying and talking about the identity crisis that has happened to them, the intergenerational identity crisis that has happened to them because they were forced into the country. We should have started by asking them, no, you don't have a right to look for the country you're from. How dare you look for the country you're from when you know your parents, you know your grandparents, you know your great grandparents, you know your great grandparents. Like, how far do you want to go? No, do not look for the country you're from. Do not do ancestry dot whatever. Don't do that. Like, that is ridiculous. Are you joking? Like, the person that birthed me from their loins, I do not know them. You are telling me that is the same thing as I decided to, again, this is only if it was your decision. I decided to give up this person because I knew I was not the best person to take care of them. You're telling me that is the same thing? As a person that willingly gave up your child, if your child shows up to your door, I mean, I think it's callous for you to be brash to the person. I think it's callous, and I think it's borderline very stupid. Like, why you brash? Like, you don't understand why they feel it the way they feel. Like, you're a mad person. If you're a person that gave up your kid and you are feeling like, oh no, do not show up to my door, I don't care about you. Fuck you. Honestly, like, fuck you all the way to hell. Like, fuck you. I don't think you should be forced to have a relationship with the kid, but I think that at the very least, to give them some sort of closure, it's courtesy to say, okay, you know what, yeah, I couldn't take care of you, I'm very sorry, or I was not interested in having a kid. I was not interested in having a kid. I did not want that burden, but I'm sorry. But oh, also, I don't want to have a relationship with you. I just don't, I'm not comfortable with it. Again, because I don't want a kid. I think it's fair, but being saying, oh well, you cannot tell me how I react to the child. Fuck you. Honestly, I'm an adopted kid. I come to your door and you react to me a certain way, and it's not like some out of the box situation, like, you were forced to do it. I'll get you sued because you are very crazy. You will get sued. Yes, you will. Yeah. What the fuck? That's not the same thing. You've had closure. I don't have any closure at all. You've made your peace with it. I haven't. I'm just finding out this information for the first time. And I'm wondering all the things, like, when my adopted parents, when they shouted at me, when they told me to, that I couldn't go to Disney, I'm wondering all these things. Was it because I wasn't really their kid? Was it, I'm wondering all these things, and God forbid I had a very bad experience. Now everything makes sense. I'm like, oh my god, this is why they treated me poorly because I wasn't their kid. A million things are going up in my head, and you're like, well, no, you don't have the you don't have the right to look for me. Fuck you. I don't think so. And also, yes, if you're 16 or 17, you have no business opening your fucking legs. Close it. You are not that horny. Trust me. Sex is it's not all that. It is not. It's not all that. I know it feels all that now because you're 16, 17. Yes, it's amazing. It's not all that. It's not. It's not all that. It's not worth the stress. Close your fucking legs. I was going to say use condom, use this. No, fuck it. Close your legs. I was trying not to be a Nigerian mother, but why am I fighting my nature? Close your fucking legs. That man hates you anyways. He hates you. Close your fucking legs. Close it. Close your fucking legs. I said what I said. You're 16, you're 17. There's so much to learn. Like, there are no jobs for you in the future. AI is taking everything. There might be no future. Like, what the fuck? Close your fucking legs. Okay? The period.
Oh my
Do you know
god.
the elements in the periodic table? You do not.
Well, thank you if you have watched up to this point. I don't want to give my opinion because I know it's going to lead to a
What's your
spiral of
opinion?
more
What's your
arguments.
opinion?
So
No,
I'm
I
not going
swear I
to.
won't say
I genuinely am
anything.
not going.
I genuinely will not say
No,
anything.
no
What's
need.
your
I'm
opinion? I
not.
genuinely
But
will not say
I want
anything.
to. I want to say that when
If
it
you, what
comes
were
to
you doing at
adoption,
16, 17? Because you seem to be really pushing for those people to what were you doing at
what
16,
am I pushing
17,
for them?
Ify?
I just, the truth is, when it comes to some of these conversations, it's just like when you are in Nigeria and all they do is telling women, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex. It doesn't work realistically. That's the truth. No matter how much you paint it, the children that listen to that advice are children who have the capacity to listen to that kind of advice. Fearful children. Someone like me, as a teenager, I was a very fearful teenager. Even as an adult, I'm fearful of consequences. I don't want to lose my job. I always err on the side of caution. The person that doesn't err on the side of caution naturally, you tell them not to do something, that's just you giving them, yeah, you know what, piquing their curiosity. The next thing they will do is go and do it. They'll go and sleep with three boys on the field, on the football field. That's
Wow.
what happens most of the. That's why I say, that is why I was trying to say it's not realistic, because it's where we saw it in secondary school all the time. They will come and preach purity, they will say abstain, they will say, you were in class with girls. As you had sense, how many had sense around you? You did not see it. You saw it now. How many had sense around you? The more you tell them not to do it, the more their interest is building. While there's another group of children that the more you are saying, if you touch a boy, you get pregnant. Some of them believed it till they were like 22. So that's why I'm like, when you give blanket, when you just say stuff
Ah,
like that, it doesn't
wow,
take
22
account
is wild.
reality. It's like, it's not a very realistic conversation. It's what those old women in secondary school were
I feel,
doing. They don't want to. Biology teacher will come and be using using euphemistic words to describe your private part. You are not being realistic. You are just, what you do is
okay,
alienate the
you
children
know
that
why I
were
believe
even
in it
going to
though?
do those things. So
The kids in the West grew up, the teenagers in the West grew up. They did not have like that fearful, the that you like if you get pregnant, like parents, Nigerian mothers will literally tell you if you have sex with a man, you will get pregnant, you will just die. Like they didn't, there was no, they were there, there was no much explanation. Somehow you were always just going to die. Somehow it was always just going to lead to your sex was always going to lead to your death, and there was a lot of fear. Was a lot of fear, and they had the right. Honestly, in retrospect, they had the right to do the fear thing. But I feel like if you the percentage of us, I mean, like this is an average Nigerian kid now. The percentage of us that had sex versus the percentage of like Western kids that had sex, I feel like no matter how you calculate it, the Western kids were more because it was a bit normalized for them to have sex. Because if I count the number of people that when I was 16, like, oh, my friends that had sex, like, honestly, it was like 5%. If it was like 100 people, it was like 5%. And it was such a big deal that, like, everybody knew. Like, and it was like, ooh, like, oh my God, you're going to do that big adult thing. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. But for these other people, it was normalized. So I feel like the normalization, there's a problem with the normalization.
well, if you've watched up to this point, thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. Uh, please let us know what your opinion is in the comment section. It's a very, it's a very sensitive subject, and people honestly should have the right to do things that are within the bandwidth of the law. So that's really what the summary of all this has been to say. Because really, you can't stop anyone from looking for you. Honestly, I forgot to say one of the opinions where that some people said expressed was that they are stalking these women. but I don't want you to spiral. So I'll just I'm just going to leave it. So please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Subscribe. That subscription is very important because I mean, look at us arguing with 45 followers. Not very nice. Subscribe and share with your friends, with your enemies. With yes, and just engage in general. And we'll be here next time. Hopefully, not debating too much. But yeah, bye guys.
No problem.